Hello, I'm Cath. Welcome back to my channel and thank you very much for joining me for this video. So this video is going to be a bit of a week of sewing and chat. So I'm planning on popping on every day this week from today, which is Sunday, through to Friday. And I'll be sharing what I'm wearing from a handmade wardrobe and talking a little bit about the patterns and the fabrics and adjustments I've made and that sort of thing. And I'll also share a bit about what I'm up to more generally this week, so a bit of general chat as well. So hopefully it should be a fun video. I'm looking forward to popping on every day this week because I haven't done one of this type of video for a while. So it should be fun. And as I mentioned, today is Sunday and it's quite early in the morning here at the moment. And we're planning on heading out to church shortly. So my husband and children are still upstairs getting ready, but I'm already ready. So I thought I'd pop down and yeah, come on here and share what I'm wearing today. And actually my son's quite excited this morning because he's been asked to read some prayers in the church service. It's the last service of this school term, so it's going to be an all-together service, so my children won't be going out for Sunday school, so he's really looking forward to going up to the front and reading prayers. It's his first time doing that, so that should be nice. But yeah, anyway, I'll move on to what I'm wearing today from a handmade wardrobe. So I've got on a dress today that I made using a pattern from this book here, the Breaking the Pattern book by Named Clothing, which I've had for ages, and I've only made one pattern in it yet, but I would like to make some more. But the pattern I've made, and I made it twice now, is this one here. Oh gosh, just all the pattern pieces just fell out the bottom of the book there. I'll have to tidy those up in a moment. It's this Sarast shirt dress here. So I think it's a really pretty shirt dress with some really nice details to it. So it's a midi length dress, although that's quite easy to change, I think. On my second version I made it a bit shorter. And it's got a collar with a cute little ruffle at the front here, which I've got on here. You can hopefully see the little ruffle there. It's got short sleeves, it's got yoke at the back, and then it's got these sort of princess seamed front, and then these front panels that are flat that go all the way down to the bottom of the skirt. And then the rest of the skirt is gathered. And I think then there are darts at the back. I can't remember if it was panels or darts. Darts at the back to add a little bit of shaping there, and buttons all the way down the front. But it's a pattern that I find sews up really nicely. It's a really nice one to sew. I do love sewing a shirt dress generally. I like that it's a bit more of a meaty project, I guess, and it takes a bit of time, and the collar, I quite like taking my time over the collar and trying to get it really neat and that sort of thing. So it's definitely a type of garment I really enjoy sewing. And this one was definitely a really enjoyable sew. I think, is it the burrito method at the back? I can't remember if you do the burrito method on the yoke. But yeah, it just comes together really nicely, this one. And I quite like that detail of that flat front with the gathering around the sides and back. And so yeah, this is my first version I made, and I made it in a lovely cotton lawn fabric, which I think works really well always for a shirt dress. This one is a Dashwood Studio cotton lawn that I got from Minerva. I'm not sure if it's still in stock. It did come in this colourway, which is this sort of pale grey colour with these cute little dots on in different colours. I think there was also a navy colourway with lighter coloured dots. If it is still in stock, I'll link it below. But I find Dashwood Studio cotton lawns are lovely and lightweight, but they have a little bit of crispness too that lends itself really well to a shirt dress. And then I added on these navy buttons, which I thought picked out the navy dots and just kind of showed off the button down front detail a little bit, because they kind of pop there a little bit. And I also, for this version, added on an extra little ruffle, which is quite hard to see because the fabric's quite busy. But I added an extra little ruffle at the end of the sleeve, which I thought was just another little cute detail on this dress. And I did go for the midi length on it, which is the length that, if you've watched my channel for a while, when I started sewing, I made all of my dresses a bit shorter, like always above the knee. But in the last maybe year or year and a half, I definitely started to enjoy the midi length a bit more as well. So I'm making a few more midi dresses, and I've enjoyed wearing this one actually whenever I popped it on. So I put a picture up of me wearing it. It's nice and comfy to wear. I find it's quite a nice comfy shirt dress. It's not too tight around the sleeves. I find that the general fit of the bodice seems to fit me quite well. I haven't had to need to make any adjustments, like to bring like a forward shoulder adjustment or a broad shoulder adjustment or anything like that. It's quite a nice roomy fit, and I've just gone, I think, with a size based on my measurements for this one. And in terms of size, it goes from UK 6 up to UK 22, so not the hugest size range ever, but yeah, it does set really nicely, this one, and I'm enjoying wearing it today. It should be nice for church. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. So I better get off now and start getting our bags ready to head off to church. So I'll leave you here and I'll pop on again tomorrow for Monday. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's Monday morning here now. It's about 9:30. I've been out on the school run this morning, dropped the children off at school. I'm back now and I'm expecting the food shop to be arriving fairly soon, but I thought hopefully I could pop on and squeeze this video in before it arrives. So if you see me looking that way, it's because a big Sainsbury's van is arriving with my food, but yeah, I'm hoping I'll have time to talk all about my outfit before it does arrive. And I'm not feeling 100% today actually. Yesterday I just felt like I had a head cold coming on. I felt a bit heady and my husband and son seem to also be feeling the same. So all a bit miffed actually to have a bit of a head cold when the weather is beautiful and it's summer outside, but hopefully it won't be a really bad one. But I'm looking forward to having a cup of tea and a little bit of a sit down after I film this and sorted the food shop once that has arrived. So that'll be my treat this morning, just to take a moment just to sit and rest for a moment. But yeah, I thought I'll pop on now and share with you what I'm wearing today. And today I've got on a jersey top and a pair of trousers, both handmade. And I'll talk about the top first. It is a t-shirt pattern that I really like. It's a free pattern and it's this one here, the Celanti pattern by French Navy. I know there are quite a few t-shirt patterns that are free out there and I haven't tried them all by any means, but I really like the style of this one and I do love generally French Navy patterns, which you'll know if you've watched my channel for a while. But the Celanti it's like a classic sort of crew neck. It's got a slightly dropped shoulder, so the seam just sits about here. It's got a fairly relaxed fit to it. It's not designed to be tight, but it's not really oversized either. I'll stand a bit so you can see the fit. There's a bit of looseness there. And you can roll up the sleeves to make a little cuff, which is what I like to do on my versions. It's also got a curved hem. I think it's got a curved hem. Yeah, because in the pictures here it's got a curved hem, which is quite a pretty feature, and I kind of forget it's got that actually because I generally tuck my nim, but I think it would be really nice if you did wear it untucked, that curved hem feature. But yeah, the version I'm wearing today, I made in a bamboo jersey. I find the Celanti works really well in like a drapey jersey fabric, like a viscose jersey or a bamboo jersey. And the bamboo jersey I'm wearing today is a 95% bamboo, 5% elastane blend. I think it came from Minerva. They've got quite a nice range of colours in this bamboo jersey, so I'll link the range down below. But this one's just a plain black one, which I find goes with loads of different things, and it's just lovely and silky and drapey and comfy to wear, so I always feel really comfortable wearing this t-shirt. And in terms of sizing on the Celanti, it hasn't got the biggest size range. It goes from a UK 6 up to a UK 18, which takes you up to a bust of 42 inches. But I do know French Navy are in the process of extending their size range, so hopefully the Celanti might be available in a wider size range in the not too distant future. And I've made a UK size 6 based on my bust measurement. My waist and hips would put me one size larger, but I haven't graded out on this pattern just because there is enough room in it. It isn't, like I said, really oversized, but it's definitely not tight, so I find the straight size 6 is fine on me. And it's just a really nice, comfy one to wear. And I've paired it today with a pair of trousers. I'll stand up a bit so you can see what they look like. They are a pair of wide-legged cropped trousers that I made using a pattern from this book here, the Make It Simple book by Tilly and the Buttons, and they're the Sophia trousers, which I know is a really popular trouser pattern, and I can see why. I've only made the one version, but they sewed up really nicely and they're just really comfy and easy to wear. I'll find the line drawing so you can see them. Where are they? I think they come quite early in the book, so they're one of the most simple patterns, I guess. Here they are. So it's a wide leg cropped trouser. It's got an elasticated waistband but a flat fronted bit, and there are pockets you can add in too. And yeah, the design's a little bit cropped. I think there's a picture here so you can see Sam from the Purple Sewing Cloud wearing them, looking lovely there. And a bit like midi length dresses or skirts. I wasn't sure in the past if wide leg trousers were for me. I didn't really have any in my wardrobe before I started sewing, but I tried this pattern because I knew I'd seen lots of other people making it and I knew it was really popular, and I thought it was a really nice pattern for sort of showcasing a pretty print and a bit different to, I guess, wearing a skirt, just a different option. And actually I really love these trousers, and they're so comfy and easy to wear, and they keep me nice and cool with a swishy fabric but also cover my legs if it's quite hot. So yeah, I do like my Sophia trousers, and I made them in a viscose fabric because I think they work really well in like a lightweight swishy fabric. And a viscose fabric that I got quite a long time ago from Rainbow Fabrics, so I don't think this fabric's still in stock, but I'll link their current range of viscose fabrics. They often have lots of pretty sort of floral print type viscose fabrics in. I'll stand up a bit again so you can see the print on my ones. So they've got a black base and this sort of white flower print, so kind of a monochromatic print, which I think works quite well with just a plain black t-shirt. And I think I made the size 2 at the waist and graded to a size 3 at the hips based on my measurements in this pattern. And the only adjustment I made was to actually add a bit more length or depth onto the crotch. So I think I basically just added a bit more around this area, just because I find I've got quite a long body, and when I wear trousers I often find the crotch can come a bit tight if I don't add a bit of length there, and I wanted these ones to sit really on my natural waist. And I think if I hadn't have made that adjustment, I'd end up having to sort of put them more on a hip length just so it didn't feel too tight in the crotch area. So I lengthened them a bit there, and now they sit on my natural waist and aren't too tight in the crotch area, and they're just quite nice and comfy to wear. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what they look like on with this t-shirt. It's just quite a nice, easy, relaxed outfit to wear, so given I'm not feeling 100%, it'll be a nice one just for curling up on the sofa for half an hour in. So that's what I'm wearing today. Oh, and I thought I'd share, I did do a little bit of sewing last night, but nothing super exciting. It was for my son rather than me. I've got what I've been sewing here. So he is in Cub Scouts at the moment, although he's just actually finished Cubs and he's going to go up to Scouts in September. And he got sort of a final glut of badges to sew onto his Cubs jumper at the end of his time at Cubs. His final session was this week. So I had a couple to finish sewing onto his jumper, so I've done that now. So I feel like this has been quite a long-term project, this Cubs jumper, because there are a lot of badges on it. This is his sleeve with activity badges. You can see there are loads of badges on there. And they're really fiddly to sew on as well. I don't know if you have any Cubs in your family or brownies or similar and have tried sewing them on, but the sleeves are so small and they're so they're so fiddly to get them all on without sort of sewing through to the other side of the sleeve and to make it all look all neat but make sure they're secure. So got those badges on the front too, as you can see. He got his silver award, which he's really pleased with. It's kind of the award you kind of work towards through Cubs, and then you go on to do your gold award if you do Scouts. But yeah, so I did that last night in front of the TV. I didn't mind too much actually. It's quite a nice little hand sewing activity in front of the TV. But I do feel like I kind of should get on my own badge, some sort of sewing badge, having done all these badges, having sewn all these badges on for him. But yeah, so that was a little sewing thing I did last night. Anyway, I better head off now because I'm sure the shopping will be arriving any moment. So I'll leave you now and I'll see you again for tomorrow, which will be Tuesday. So yeah, fingers crossed. This cold will be a really mild one. I might be feeling a bit better tomorrow, but we shall see. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning here now. And I've just got back from the school run. It's about 9 o'clock, so still quite early. And today I've got a load of jobs and errands and things I need to get on with, but I thought I'd come on first and share with you what I'm wearing. And actually I'm hoping to do a little bit of sewing planning this morning too. So after I film this video section, I'm going to go and get a cup of tea, which I'm really looking forward to, and sit down and I'm going to make a list of sewing pattern options for a couple of fabrics that I talked about in my video last week. So I'll link that video up above in case you didn't see it. I talked about a range of things, but one of the things I was talking about in this video was how I had a couple of really summery fabrics that I was lacking a bit of inspiration for. It's this linen here and this viscose here, so really pretty summery fabrics. And I asked for pattern recommendations or ideas for what I could start for each of these fabrics. And so thank you to everyone who commented. I really, really appreciate all the ideas. They definitely give me a lot of inspiration and enthusiasm for getting sewing on these two fabrics. There are so many good ideas. I want to write them all down, have a proper think about them before I decide which one to go for. So that is my plan this morning. So I'm going to go back through all the comments and yeah, make a list about ideas for these two. So thank you. I'm looking forward to doing that. But yeah, what I'm wearing today actually is a dress that I made last year, and I haven't really reached for it at all since I made it. And today I had a look at my wardrobe and I sort of spotted it there and thought I really should get it out and give it a go. And it's perfect weather for this dress today actually, because it's one of those dresses that I think would be a bit too hot if the weather was really hot, but wouldn't quite work for winter because it's got this sort of sleeve detail here that I think if I tried to put a cardigan over it would get all rucked up. So it's one of those dresses that I think works really well in that in-between weather, which is what is the weather today. So it's kind of a dress that has a bit of a narrow window for wearing, and I need to get it out in that window. And actually I'm really enjoying wearing it today. I'm finding it really comfortable. I think another thing I thought about it was I wasn't sure if it would be that comfortable to wear. So I'm glad I've got it on. I'm enjoying wearing it actually. But the dress is actually a mashup of two different patterns. had a bit of fun putting these two patterns I really love together. So I'll stand a bit so you can see a little bit of the dress. The top part of the dress down to just above the waistband I made using this pattern here, which is the plum dress pattern by Cocoa Crafts. It's a really cute woven dress pattern for quite an oversized baby doll style dress. It's got a button down back, and the buttons have to be actual proper buttons because I find it's a bit of a smaller neck hole, so you wouldn't just be able to pull it on, you'd have to undo the buttons at the back. It's got a gathered skirt, which you can make as more of a mini length or sort of knee length, and you can make a wintry version with a sleeve added on. Or the version I particularly liked when I got this pattern was this lovely summery version with a flutter sleeve here. I thought that was a really cute detail, and I do like Cocoa Crafts patterns, so yeah, I've really enjoyed making this dress up actually, and I made a couple of versions of the dress. Then for this version I decided to hack it by giving it a more closer fit on the bodice. As you can see, it's not as oversized as the pattern intended. I still got the buttons down the back. Like I said, they are buttons you have to actually sew the buttonholes because I do need to open the top couple to get it on over my head. But then I've added on a different skirt and sort of brought it in at the waist. And the skirt I've added on to the top of the plum dress to kind of create this dress is this skirt here. It's one of my favourite skirt patterns, the Estuary skirt by So Liberated. It's a woven skirt pattern for a gathered skirt that has this flat fronted waistband and elastic at the back. So it's got a button placket down the front, but this is actually a placket you can make as a faux placket because you can pull the skirt on because of the elastic at the back. And you can make it in lots of different lengths, but I particularly like cropping it off and make it into quite a swishy sort of mini skirt. So for this dress, I pretty much used the Estuary skirt pattern, but I didn't add the buttons down the front of the skirt because I thought that'd be a bit weird having buttons down the back on the bodice and then down the front on the skirt. And I guess I could have switched the skirt around and had buttons going all the way down the back, but I thought, given I was already playing around with two patterns and putting them together, I'd keep it simple. So to get the front skirt piece without a button placket, I just cut the skirt front pattern piece on the fold. So that was nice and simple. And then add in pockets because you can add in optional side seam pockets on the Estuary skirt. So I thought I'd have pockets for my dress. And then the waistband has the flat front and the elastic at the back. So to get this dress on, I can just pull it on over my head with the elastic in the middle. But like I mentioned, I do have to undo a couple of the buttons for the neckband because it's quite a narrow neckband. And I had a play with the direction of the check. So on the waistband, I went for a diagonal style check just to sort of break it up a little bit. And then I'll turn around a bit so you can see the elastic at the back that sort of gathers the back in. So it's actually really comfy, this dress, with this sort of elastic waistband. And the fabric I use for this dress is a sort of washed cotton fabric that I got from Simply Fabrics. It's not in stock anymore. I think the fabrics they have seem to come and go quite quickly, but there's always really interesting fabrics on their website, so I'll link it down below in case you fancy checking it out. I always like to have a browse on there. But it's a lovely, really soft washed cotton fabric, and I love a washed cotton. It's one of my favourite fabrics to wear. So comfy. I love cotton generally, but especially like a really soft one. And I really like the sort of check on this one. It's a bit of an interesting colour combination, I think, with the sort of black and the sort of almost sort of latte colour, I guess, sort of like a light coffee colour. And yeah, it's just not a colour combination I have in my wardrobe on anything else, so I thought it'd be a nice one to choose when I was making this dress. And I love a check. The only thing about this fabric, I think, is because it's quite a soft, loosely woven, I guess it's like a yarn dyed, loosely woven cotton fabric, it did fray a little bit, so I had to make sure I overlocked everything quite quickly to make sure it did sort of hold together nicely. And it has held together really well with the overlocking, but yeah, it was a bit more prone to fraying than I guess other fabrics just because it's quite a loose weave, but that does make it lovely and soft. But what I like about it also is it's still got a bit of body to it, so it shows off the little details on the plum dress, like this really cute flutter sleeve really nicely, because I did make one version of the plum dress in a viscose and it was so drapey, it kind of lost the sort of lovely flutter sleeve detail a little bit. But yeah, it's funny, I don't know why I haven't reached this dress at all. It's partly that it needs to be the right weather for it, because I think I would get too hot in it in very warm weather. But also I think with the sort of flutter sleeves and quite a full skirt of the Estuary skirt, it does feel like a bit more of a statement dress, I guess, than my average dress I would wear. So I said to my husband this morning, is this dress okay for the school run? And he looked at me like, yeah, what's the problem? So maybe I'm just overthinking it a little bit. So yeah, I'm really enjoying wearing it today actually, and I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. It's just quite a cute little swishy mini dress, and it is really comfortable with the elastic back of the waist in this lovely soft cotton fabric. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing today, but I'm going to go now and make myself a cup of tea and sit down with all your pattern recommendations. So thanks again for those, and I'll see you again tomorrow for Wednesday. Hello, it's Wednesday morning here now, and I've just got back from the school run, and the house is really quiet here this morning because my husband has gone into the office. And he's going into the office a little bit more these days, but he's still mostly home-based. And it's nice to have him around, but sometimes it's quite nice to have a day where I've got the house to myself. I've got plans today to sort of blitz the house, give it a good old organise and a bit of a clean, get the hoover out. And I don't need to worry then about disturbing him on calls, but I don't want to get the hoover out and that sort of thing. So it'll be nice to just get on with all of that, particularly because it's the last week of school this week. My children finish for the summer holidays on Friday. So it'll be nice to get the house feeling all organised and orderly ahead of the summer holidays, when it will then inevitably become a little bit unravelled when they're around and I have less time to kind of get on with the house jobs. But nice to start on a nice clean and tidy note. So that is my plan today. And today I'm wearing an outfit that should be quite nice and easy to sort of just wear around the house and get on with those jobs. So I've got on a pair of ready to wear leggings. I haven't actually made any handmade leggings to date, but I've got a couple of patterns sort of earmarked for the future when I do want to make some, when my ready to wear ones sort of fall apart eventually, but they're still going quite strong at the moment. And I thought I'd pair them with a handmade top. And this is a top that I made quite recently, so you'll probably recognise it. And even if you haven't seen my recent videos, you might recognise this fabric actually, because I shared, I think yesterday or the day before, how I've got the viscose version of this fabric waiting to be turned into something summery. But this is the cotton lawn version of this fabric. It is a Joni fabric by Fabric Godmother. It's one of their vintage prints that they put onto different sort of fabric bases. And I love this print. I think it's so pretty and really impactful. It's got this sort of wide and then thinner sort of floral stripes. I just think it's quite a striking print. And this top that I use this fabric for is this pattern here, which is the Tanita top by Fibre Mood. And I pretty much copied this top straight from Lauren at Guthrie Garney, who made a lovely version, although she made hers in the viscose version of this fabric. But there was a little bit of mix up when I ordered this fabric and the cotton lawn fabric arrived instead. So yeah, the Tanita top wasn't one I'd come across before until I saw Lauren wearing her version, but it's a cute woven top pattern and quite a simple, sort of speedy sew. You just basically cut out one front pattern piece and one back pattern piece and some bias binding, and then the sleeves are grown on and they're finished with an elasticated cuff, and then the bottom's finished with elastic too, and then you use the bias binding for the neckline. So it comes together quite simply, and it's quite a sort of loose fit, quite cropped top. And I originally made my version and lengthened it quite a bit and then gradually shortened it back to I think just a little bit longer than the crop top, just because I thought it looked better in that cropped style that it was intended in, I think, rather than a longer version with the elastic added. I'll stand up a bit so you can see it is quite cropped still, even though it's slightly lengthened from the pattern. So my leggings are quite high-waisted, so they seem to work quite well with this top and don't show any midriff in between. Oh, and I'll mention the size range. It's got a good size range on this top. It goes from an extra small up to a 3XL, which takes you up to bust at 58.4 inches. And I made the extra small, which covers sizes 4 and 6. I think my bust puts me at the larger end of that sort of size range, but there's quite a lot of room in this top because it's designed to be quite sort of, I don't know, oversized. And I guess the sleeves create extra room there because they start from sort of below the bust anyway. So yeah, it's quite a lot of room, and I think it showcases this pretty print really well. But I haven't really worn this top yet because it is quite cropped, and I know I sort of made it cropped having cut it a bit longer originally. But once I sort of sewed it all up and everything, I thought, oh, actually, I'm not sure if I do feel that comfortable about wearing this one out the house, particularly if you lift your arms up a little bit, it does start to creep up. So I thought I would wear it today at home and see how I get on with it and how comfortable I feel wearing it. Then with a view to hopefully build up the confidence to wearing it out of the house in the future, because it's such a pretty top, I think, and I love how the simplicity of it just shows off this lovely print. Yeah, I'll see how I feel about it and whether I would wear it out maybe with a pair of high-waisted jeans or something like that. But yeah, I thought at home was a good way to start wearing it. And it's actually really comfortable because it's quite loose fitting and all elasticated, so it doesn't feel restrictive or anything if I'm getting on with all the cleaning and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm wearing today. I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. But I'm going to leave you now and get on, hopefully being really productive today. I want to have a shower too. I've got my hair up. It needs a bit of wash, so it'll be good to get that done and have the house and me feeling all clean and tidy. So yeah, I'll leave you now and I'll see you again for Thursday tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's Thursday morning here now, and it's a really lovely day today here actually. The sun is shining and the sky is blue and it feels quite summery. I think it's going to get quite warm later too, so yeah, I'm enjoying the sunshine that's streaming in through the window. I've had to close the curtain a little bit, otherwise it'll be sort of, yeah, all sun on me here. So yeah, today is the final full day I have before my children finish school for summer. They've got a half day tomorrow, and I haven't actually got too much I need to do today. So I've got all my errands out the way. I cleaned the house yesterday. The washing basket isn't looking too full. So today I'm going to take a bit of time for myself and hopefully do a bit of something sewing related. It probably won't actually be sewing, it's probably going to be some cutting out. I think I'm either going to cut into one of those fabrics I mentioned earlier in the week, or I also have one piece of swimwear fabric that I bought quite a while ago that I still haven't turned into any sort of swimming costume. So I think I might get that fabric out as well and see if I'm in the mood for deciding what to make with that and sewing that up ahead of my holiday. So it'll definitely be something sewing related today, just taking a bit of time for myself before the holidays begin tomorrow afternoon and things get a bit more busy and hectic. So that's my plan today, and I've got on quite a summery outfit today. I've got on a handmade top and a handmade skirt, and the top, you might recognise the top from the sort of shape of it. It's this pattern here, the Zoe tank and dress pattern by True Bias. So it's a really nice jersey top and dress pattern for like a tank top and a tank dress. I've made this version here and this version here. I haven't made the dress, and I'm not sure if the dress is for me. I can't really see myself wearing like a maxi jersey dress like this, but I do quite like the idea of maybe making a cropped version. I think that would be quite nice and comfy and easy to wear for summer, but I haven't got any immediate plans to do that. But yeah, it's a really nice pattern with this V-neck and quite a close fit to it. I think it's got negative E's built in. It is quite tight fitting, so you need jersey fabric with a decent amount of stretch. And it's got a good size range too. I've got the US size 0 to 18 version, but I think there's also a US 14 to 30 or to 32 version as well. And also what's really cool about this pattern actually is it's got a free add-on that you can download from the True Bias website to be able to mix up the neckline. So on the version I'm wearing today, I've gone for the simple V neckline as per the pattern. But if you download that free add-on, you can also make it as a square neck, or I think a slightly higher neck, or a sort of more rounder scoop neck, which I think is quite cool and makes it a really versatile pattern. And I actually, when I made my first version, I made this cropped version because I had a small fabric scrap and I just wanted to give it a go and see how it fit and how it sewed up. And I actually decided to make the scoop round neck version for that one, and the add-on was really easy to, sort of use the add-on to alter the pattern pieces to make the scoop neckline. So yeah, a really versatile pattern. I've only made 2 versions to date, but I can see myself making more, particularly of this longer vest top version, because I think it's something that will go with a lot of things. And at the moment I've got a few old ready to wear sort of vest top or tank tops, but they are gradually wearing out, so I think this is a pattern I can see myself reaching for more in the future. But the version I'm wearing today I made in a really lovely fabric. It is a tencel ribbed jersey by Meat Milk, which I got from Minerva. And they've got a whole range of this fabric in different colourways. I've also sewn with the sort of deep red colourway. I made a different garment with that. But it's such a lovely fabric. It is really comfy to wear. It has really good recovery. It's sort of smooth and sort of silky with a bit of a sheen to it. So it feels a bit luxurious to wear as well. And I'll stand up a bit so you can maybe hopefully see the ribbing texture a little bit. Hopefully you can see the ribbing texture a little bit there. It's such a nice fabric. I actually made this top out of the scraps left over from a Freya top by tearing the buttons that I made for winter in this fabric too, which I love as well. So yeah, I love this fabric, and I guess the good thing about if you bought it to make a Zoe tank is the tank doesn't take too much fabric, so it is a bit pricey, this fabric. But yeah, you wouldn't need too much of it to make a Zoe tank, because there's really not a lot you need for this pattern. You need to cut a few pieces to make the neckband and the sort of bands around the armholes, but all the pieces are fairly small, so yeah, it's one you can squeeze out of a small amount of fabric. And it's just really nice and comfy to wear, and I quite like the V shape actually. I didn't historically like a V shape. I think it's because when I used to work I wore a lot of V-neck shaped tops there, and I just wanted to break from the V-neck shape, having worn a lot of V-neck tops when I used to go to work in an office. But yeah, these days I'm quite enjoying this V-neck now again. So that's what I'm wearing on top today. Oh, and in terms of sizing on the Zoe tank, my bust and waist measurement was put me as a size 0, but my hips measurement would put me as a size 4. And I think for this version I ended up making a size 0 at the bust and then grading out to a size 2 on the hips, just to give a little bit more room there, because I know this top has negative ease built in. And actually it's worked out fine. I don't think I needed to grade out further on the hips, but this is a really stretchy fabric, so I think if I made this top in a cotton jersey I might just grade out a little bit more at the hips there, or maybe just make the seam line slightly smaller just to give that little bit more room if the fabric was a bit less stretchy than this fabric, which is very, very stretchy. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing on top. And then I've got my Zoe tank paired with a skirt I made using this pattern here, which is a free pattern. It's a Sabina skirt pattern by the Little Pomegranate. And this is such a great free pattern. I think, first, it has a really good size range. It goes from a UK 6 up to a UK 34. But the whole way the pattern is written, it's just really comprehensive. It really holds your hand through the whole sewing process of this skirt. And I think it'll be a great pattern if you're fairly new to sewing. So I really recommend this pattern. I'll show you the line drawings. It's also a really pretty skirt pattern, as well as having great instructions. So this is a Sabina skirt here. It's a skirt with a simple elasticated waist. It's got these slash pockets which are anchored in to the waistband, and they're actually really roomy pockets. They're quite nice practical pockets too. And it's designed to be a sort of midi length with this cute little ruffle at the bottom. And yeah, I'm sort of new to enjoying midi length garments, and I've really enjoyed wearing my 2 Sabina skirts. I've got 2 versions, one more summery and one more wintry. And I'm wearing my more summery version today. I'll stand up a bit so you can see the print on it. So it's a lovely ditzy floral print, and I do love a ditzy floral. And what I think makes this one really summery is that although it's got like a navy blue base, the flower print on it's quite dense, so it feels like it's quite a light coloured skirt with all the white flowers with the little orange centres. And it's quite a lightweight viscose fabric too, so it's really lovely and swishy and floaty and perfect for summer. And the little ruffle at the bottom I think adds a little extra swish, which feels quite nice when you're walking around. And it's sewed up really nicely, this skirt. I think I pretty much made it per the pattern in terms of the length. I remember making this and originally added a bit of length because I thought it might come up a bit too short on me, but I ended up taking it back to pretty much per the pattern. And I'll put up a picture so you can see where the length sits on me, and I'm 5'6" for reference. That should give you an idea of sort of where the length comes down to. I think I lengthened it slightly when I made my winter version. But yeah, it just sews up really nicely, this pattern, and I think it's one that pairs really well with loads of different things like vest tops and t-shirts, and you can sort of make it a bit more wintry with like a chunky jumper too. So it's a pattern I really love, and I think when I made this one I just went based on my measurements for waist and hips. But I think the sizing on this one's not too critical because it's got the elastic around the waistband. You can kind of just cut the elastic to fit your waist and then gather the skirt in with the skirt will automatically gather in accordingly through the sort of waistband. So yeah, it's a really nice one to wear. I always enjoy getting my Sabina skirts out. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing today, and so yeah, I'm going to head off now and hopefully get on with some sort of sewing related task. I quite like the idea of getting some cutting out done today because I always feel like cutting out is the part of the sewing process that I want to spend the most time on getting it right and doing it all in one go. And once I've got the cutting out done, then it'll be easier for me to pick up the actual sewing and do a bit of sewing here and there if I have a moment in the holidays. So getting some cutting out done today will work really well, I think. So yeah, just spend a bit of time on that, get it all done, because it isn't my favourite part of the process, but I think it's always quite satisfying when you have got it all cut out and taken the time to get it cut out just right. So that is my plan today. So I'll leave you here, and yeah, I'll see you again tomorrow for Friday, so the last day of the week. As ever, when I'm doing these videos, the weeks just fly by. But yeah, see you again tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's Friday morning here now. And I'm actually popping on to talk to you a little bit later in the morning than I have done for the last couple of days, because this morning after I got back from the school run I wanted to get out in the garden and get on with a bit of garden maintenance. So I've been out there this morning trimming back the bushes and doing some other bits and bobs, just make it look a bit tidier. And I wanted to do that first thing because I think it's going to be quite warm today, so I wanted to do it before it got too hot. Although actually, having come in, I do feel quite hot now. it was quite nice to change out of my garden clothes. I was wearing like a big t-shirt to cover my shoulders and that sort of thing, and it's been nice to change into sort of a more cool summer dress now. So yeah, I was hoping to have a cup of tea actually, but I'm too hot. I think I'll just go bright red. So I'm going to chat to you guys. I've had a glass of water, and then maybe I'll go and make myself a cup of tea when I've cooled down a little bit. But anyway, today I am wearing a dress I made a couple of years ago, and it's such a nice, comfy, relaxed one to throw on, which is exactly what I was looking for today. And it's actually a hack of a vest top pattern. And the vest top pattern is the Lego or Largo tank, I'm never sure how to pronounce that one, by Itch to Stitch. And it's a free pattern, I will link it down below, for a really nice, simple vest top. I'll put up the line drawings so you can see what it looks like. You can see, I guess, on me too. It's got a scoop neck, it's got a neckband and armbands, and then it's designed to have quite a relaxed fit, so I don't think it's designed to be as close fitting as the Zoe tank by True Bias that I was wearing yesterday. It hasn't got the biggest size range ever. It goes from I think a US 00 up to a size 20, which takes you up to a bust of about 46¼ inches, I believe. It's just quite a nice, simple little free pattern. And for my version here, I basically cropped it off around my natural waist and added on a gathered skirt to it. And I just also added a sort of channel around the waistband and put elastic through to give it a bit more, sort of hugs a bit more tightly around my waist there. I'll just stand a bit so you can see a bit more of the dress. So it's quite a simple, easy hack. And I think I'd like to make another one of these at some point actually, because it's just so comfy and easy to wear. And I did make a bit of an adjustment to the fit of the tank, because I think I went based on my measurements. And it did come out sort of more loose around the waist, because it is designed to have that more relaxed fit. So I ended up sort of bringing it in a little bit to give it more of a close fit, just sort of hug my body and then go out into the sort of gathered skirt. And for the tank, it's a jersey pattern. I used this lovely stripy cotton jersey fabric that I'd had in my stash for a while without any particular plans for it. And I quite like how the neckband and or not so much the armbands, I guess they look a bit more like they go with the stripes on the bodice the same direction, but I like how the stripes are sort of played around with a bit on the neckline and go in a different direction. I think that's quite cute, but I went for just plain stripes across all the way down the dress to keep it simple there. But yeah, it's a really nice comfy one to wear, and it's helping me cool down a bit after the work in the garden. And I'll put a picture so you can see what it looks like on. So that's what I'm wearing today, my final outfit of this week. Oh, and in case you're wondering what I got to on the sewing front yesterday and what I decided to cut out in the end. Well, actually, I didn't cut anything out. I didn't actually get on with any sewing tasks at all yesterday afternoon, other than to get the fabrics out and have a little look at them and think I'm still not sure which patterns to go for. So I thought it would be better to leave it and have a bit more of a think and make sure I make the right choice rather than rush into cutting one of them out just for the sake of having a sewing project. So I think that's the right decision, and I'm sure I'll get a bit of sewing time in during the summer holidays and hopefully start sewing with at least one of those fabrics, fingers crossed. But yeah, yesterday wasn't very productive at all on the sewing front. So anyway, I think it's probably a good time to finish this video up now. I'll make sure to link all of the patterns I talked about over the course of the week in the video description down below, and I'll also link any fabrics that are still available to purchase too. So check the video description out if you're interested in any of the fabrics or patterns. Thank you so much for following me along this week. I've really enjoyed popping on every day and just showing what I've been up to and what I'm wearing, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing about it too. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, thank you very much for dropping by. Please do subscribe and press the bell icon so you'll be notified of my future videos, which are always full of lots of sewing chat and talk about patterns and hacks and all that sort of thing. So thank you very much for watching again. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you again for another video soon. Bye.